What's up guys, Brendan Meyers here. So, going through YouTube comments again, and Tyler Hazen, sorry if I say your name wrong, asked this: is working out every day overtraining? Alright, so I do want to talk about overtraining. I have been wanting to talk about overtraining. I kind of touched on it with the gas theory and the exhaustion phase and all of that, the reactive phase. Overtraining is tough because with overtraining, sometimes it's hard to tell if it is overtraining or you're just sore from a workout, or if you did an incorrect technique for a specific exercise where you injured yourself. So really the way you should look at overtraining is if you do have an injury that comes from a lot of force. So for instance, I have quad tendonitis, and with that, it's my tendon that attaches onto my patella, so right on the insertion point. So I now have looked at it as an overtraining injury because of the amount of force I've always applied to that tendon and that knee with flipping and then going and squatting really heavy 3 times a week. All of that, it's added up to a chronic issue. And that's what it really comes down to, chronic issue. So you're an injury that you have that it just won't go away, like any type of tendonitis usually is overtraining. But anyways, working out every day is something you should definitely not do. And I'll give you an example. It's kind of like a rubber band, all right? For instance, a rubber band. Imagine like it is your muscle fibers, okay? The rubber band is here. It's extremely thick. It has the fibers that is holding it together all the way around, and it stretches, right? Boom, and it contracts. So every time you pull, boom, it contracts. Right? So if you think about your muscles, that's the exact same way, especially when you think of plyometrics, right? So you have the eccentric contraction, boom, it explodes, and it creates a force to be produced, right? So now let's think about this rubber band. So every single time you work out, boom, it's open, right? And then it has to heal, so it's coming back, right? Boom, it's open. So now it has to heal, it's coming back. Now imagine if you're training your upper body or your abdominal muscles or your lower body every single day. Now let's look at it, okay? Boom. All right, first day. You really should rest because you really want to heal those muscle fibers so they're even stronger next time. But look, next day you work out. Next day you work out. Next day you work out. Boom. Soon enough, over time, I'm exaggerating how I'm locking my hands right now, but it's like a rubber band. Soon enough, it's just gonna snap. An injury is gonna occur. You're gonna form some type of tendonitis. You're gonna have micro tears. You're gonna have even bigger tear. You're going to injure yourself. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So for you to really understand with your specific muscles, whether you're trying to isolate them or not, or you're trying to really gain a lot of muscle in your upper body or your lower body, you're trying to be a lot more explosive. If you want to really see results and train hard for each of your workouts, then you want to stay 48 to 72 hours of rest. And I'm leaning more towards 72 hours of rest. And that means 3 days of rest, or on your 3rd day you train. So generally you want to have 24 to 72 hours between your training sessions, but of course 24 hours is for the prehab and the rehab type exercises, and the 72 hours is more for really training and going into that exercise as much as possible. Now, there's also a general kind of idea that you should only train each muscle group 2 times per week. Now, I completely agree with this, except if you're an advanced athlete or you're working towards something specifically, like you want to bench 500 pounds, you're really working towards that, or you're trying to build your strength, you're trying to increase endurance for a specific event, then you want to increase those types of days for the muscle groups. So you will do 3 days per week or even 4 days per week, but you never want to make it all heavy. That's where a lot of people go wrong. And this comes down to linear periodization, where you're slowly increasing with whatever you're doing. But what I focus on is undulating, right? And with undulating, it's where you have a heavy day one day, and then you have a lighter day the next, and then you have a moderate day the next. So it's always changes every single day, every week it changes. So when you're in the hypertrophy phase and you're trying to build a lot of size within this phase with reps of 6 to 13 reps, you're resting for a minute and a half, and you're working out 2 to 3 days per week for each muscle group. You want to now focus on throughout those days. So for instance, I will do a heavy day on Monday for legs, a light day on Wednesday for legs so I can recover properly and get that blood flowing again on that Wednesday. And then on that Friday, I will go a moderate day so I'm ready for that heavy day on Monday. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. This will reduce your chances of overtraining. Now, I have overtrained because I was doing that, but I was also always going heavier than I needed to. On top of that, I was doing flips on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So I was really injuring everything in my body, my lower body, because it was just overuse. I kept on working it and working it and working it. I was doing it every single day, which you should not do. So that hopefully answers your question and helps you understand a little bit about overtraining with that rubber band effect where your muscle fibers are stretching, they need to heal, and then soon enough they rip because you haven't healed enough and you keep on applying force on them. And then also the other ideas that I spoke about previously. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember, comment below with questions or videos you want produced. Also, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm Brendan, and I'll see you next time.